Hey, everybody out there. I wanted to do a quick little intro to an idea I had to do a podcast. This will be the first one. I'm kind of just jumping on it. Tentatively called Art Hustle Grind. A little bit of everything. Art first because as a creative, that's what you're going to do. You're going to create the artwork. There's a lot of other podcasts that kind of go into technique and things like that. There's so many of them. There's a bunch of business podcasts too about hustling and grinding. But what I've noticed is there's not much of an overlap. There's some podcasts that will talk about the business side of things, but they don't go into the financial too much. And just necessarily, they don't really get into the grind and wear and tear of everything. I want to talk more about the financial side of an art career, retirement, branding, income streams, social media, things like that. Just the career in general. Sorry, I got some notes here. Yeah, I didn't think it would be nice to talk to artists older than me. I'm currently 44. If I could find people 55 and older, just to kind of see the steps that they took beforehand to where they are now, and what they would have done different, what made sense, what worked. A lot of times a career kind of goes like this. As you get older, your energy kind of goes down a little bit. You can find passion, get to go back up. I'm kind of in this weird spot because at 44, I have a long way to go till I want to slow down. But doing shows full time, hustling, I'm looking at the end goal. It's like, how long realistically do I want to be doing 30 shows a year all over the country that are big, big shows? They're not little, we're not talking little craft shows. We're talking, if I do a craft show, there's 40,000, 50,000 people at it. It takes up the whole town and it's just chaos. A little bit about me. Oh, the other thing too is I'm going to try to do interviews. Maybe I just said that. I don't even know. I'm not really good on the camera yet. I need to be doing this more. About me, I'm an upstate New York artist based out of Syracuse, New York, where there's not really that much opportunity. You do have online. I don't really mess with that at all. I tend to travel. I focus on drawing creepy, cute cryptids. Kind of been doing it now. The year will be full time, 10 years. Started the series about 12 years ago. There really wasn't anybody at events drawing cryptids, which is crazy now because you can go pretty much anywhere, any kind of event or craft show, and most of the people are going to have cryptids. It's wild. I remember doing New York Comic Con years ago, and I was the only person the whole venue that had cryptid stuff. Maybe there's one other vendor. Like, I don't know if I know Jellicoe's been doing cryptid stuff for a while. They maybe had something, and then maybe there's one other artist. But we're talking out of all New York Comic Con, it wasn't a thing. Nobody even knew what half the stuff was. If you said Mothman, nobody knew, and now it's insane. I travel all around the country doing conventions, craft shows, and expos. I do a little bit of wholesale. I don't really sell online. I've been able over the years, without taking any shortcuts and just kind of grinding it out, I've built it into a 6-figure business. Every year is better. And my big thing is why I wanted to start talking to people, other artists that are in different parts of their career, even beginning ones too. That was when I put the post out online earlier today about if I should do this. People are saying I need to talk to younger artists too, which I'm more than down to do. And hopefully I can learn something from them, and then they can learn, something from me and with the other artists that I'm talking to. People can kind of figure out what the next stage is, because that's what I'm always working on. It's always just like setting a goal, work towards the goal, work. If I accomplish the goal, what's the next goal? What's the next thing? I'm always chasing the next thing, because my attitude is, if you're not constantly chasing that thing and growing, and you're kind of plateaued, you're going to start slipping back the other way. You're going to start going back down the hill. And I see this all the time. I've seen it with me personally, like with my health. If I'm not really getting after it, before you know it, I gain a bunch of weight again. So it's just kind of keeping up on it. If you slip back a little bit, which is fine, with career, anything, you can slip back, but it's catching yourself to go on to the next thing. So I think the key to that is just like that next peak. Go to the one, For me, the big one was for years. I had this big sign in my studio that said "Business Battle Plan," and in big letters it said "Make $100,000." In the first couple of years, tried, kept building up, kept doubling. Before I quit my job, I used to work at a restaurant. The goal was if I, as a part-time hustle, can make as much as I am at the business, or I'm sorry, at the diner, if I can make the same, what'll happen if I quit that job? Will my extra time make it so I'm making more money and kind of it balances out, and then I can keep kind of growing from there. And so that's what I started to do is just kept on doubling and doubling. Eventually hit that $100,000, which I can pretty much do in my sleep now. Not that it's easy to make $100,000, but the math is pretty straightforward. If you want to make $100,000, the way that I would look at it, if that's like a goal, is I wouldn't say like I need to make $100,000 from art. I would say I have this job. We'll just make up numbers, $40,000. I'm gonna do the part-time hustle. I got to figure out how to make 60. You start to do the math. You go, let me see, $5,000 in 10 months. That's 50. The extra 6 or 2. Yeah, I think that's about 60 right there. So if you did, you do $5,000 extra a month, my math might be off a little bit, but attach that to the 40, boom, you hit your 100. So going forward after that, it's like, okay, if I added this other thing in, maybe it didn't work as much as at the job, and you get that number up to, 80, you can start to kind of see the path to get there. And I think that was a big thing. Mainly like the way I look at it is if you could do $10,000 each month. Again, we're not talking total profits. Again, it's about that first goal. You do the 10,000 a month. You have 2 months where you don't have to hit that goal to kind of factor it in. Is how I look at it. It's like you get 2 free months. So if you can do it in 10 months, or even if you do 9,000, but if you do that every month, you're going to hit the number. And then from there, you could go, okay, I want to, after expenses, pre-tax, I want to do $100,000, or I want to do this higher number, and just keep on growing it from there. And then it's just like, oh, okay, I can do $100,000 take-home profit after everything. And then it's I can do $200,000, and then it's just you can keep growing. And then the thing that I'm trying to figure out for me personally is like growing it to the next level and what it is that I want. Because more money is nice, but knowing what I know for how I grind now to make what I make, if I want to make more money, it takes even more. Like I'm not envious of people that are millionaires, especially if they did it from, not like the lotto technique where it's just like you got this big break kind of thing. Actually being in the trenches, digging through, maybe they're hiring people. I don't really want to be a people manager. I want to create art and just kind of keep on hustling. So I'm just kind of looking for different ways to incorporate some more money in as I keep growing. I have certain financial things I want to do this year, last year, 2024. Every year has to be better. It's kind of how I look at it. Even in 2020, I didn't make that much money, but there's other aspects I could control, like my health, for example, where everybody else was just kind of hanging out, feeling depressed. You had that the COVID-19 or whatever, everybody was gaining, 19, 20 pounds, 30 pounds. I decided to, if I'm home all the time, just to get after it. When life gives you lemons, that goofy expression. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So this is just the first one. I don't really know what's going to happen with all this, if it's going to be a lot of me just on the road. I'm on the road right now between Atlanta. I was at Atlanta last week. Did an oddity show. I'm doing Charlotte this weekend. And then I have a show the weekend after that. So it's just like all over the place. I'm at the hotel right now. Yeah, so I just want to shoot this just to get it out there. I don't even know how I'm going to get it on YouTube, any of that. I'm literally no idea. If anybody has any questions, feel free. The big goal is I want to talk to different people about finances in retirement. And I kind of know some people will be really good with it, or, good for it, and can get the information out there. So that's it. All right, everybody, have a good one.